Welcome to the very first IAS Scholar Cup! So, I'm Hema.
I'm Javin.
And we're going to be your hosts for today's grand finale of the debate, where we have our top two teams competing head on head. And we're very glad that you guys joined us today. So, how about I give you a brief Okay, so I'm going to give you a brief
Is anything happening?
Process of how this debate is carried on. So, the basic structure is that we've got two teams, and the teams with the highest points go to the final. The two teams that have been taken to the final is 2.5 teams from 9th grade.
Oh, we're live now.
And Serbatek from grade 10. So congratulations, guys. And so you're going to be witnessing that match
Sure if we are live or if the feed is live.
The way this is going to be held is that there will be 15 minutes prep time for each team, and we will announce the topic for the debate, but not yet, so stay tuned. And after that's done, each team will get 2 minutes to speak. Each team member gets 2 minutes to speak, and then it goes back and forth, and that will determine who our winner is for today. Yes. Our judge for today is Mr. Ethan Ruby, and we're excited, and I hope you guys are. So let's go meet our teammates. Hello, guys.
Hello.
So we're going to be introducing each of our teams to everyone else. Okay, can we have a quick whoop whoop from 2.5 teams?
Whoop.
Come on, guys, we can do louder than that. Let's go. Okay, I want a louder one from Serbatek now. Whoop whoop, go.
Whoop whoop.
Whoop whoop.
Okay, so now I'm going to be introducing each of you. So from 2.5 teams, we've got Sardar Atayev, who is the leader for this team.
Hello.
We have, he's joined by his teammates, Chadwick Ferrales, who's also from grade 9.
Wow.
Robert from grade 6, who is...
Hello.
So he's the half team in this group, if you're wondering. And we have Zofia from grade 8.
Hi.
Now we're going to go on to Serbatek. That's always a mouthful to say, but we've got Natasha, who's the team leader.
Hi.
Who's joined by her teammates, Melis from grade 10.
Hello.
Marta from grade 10 as well.
Hi.
And Tihon from grade 10 as well.
Hello, I'm here.
So these are our teammates, and these people are going to be competing against each other. So stay tuned, because now we're going to be announcing the debate topic. Jamin, would you like to do the honors?
Yes, of course. So our debate topic is: should we or should we not develop the artificial intelligence, and why?
So I'm going to repeat that once again, if none of you caught on to that. But should we or should we not develop artificial intelligence, and why? Should we or should we not develop artificial intelligence, and why? And today our judge is Mr. Ethan Ruby. Mr. Ruby, could you tell us something about yourself?
I am judging this competition.
Thank you. Okay, so guys, you've got your 15 minutes. Let's go.
Are there any questions before we get going here, or before you guys leave? Do you guys have any questions about the question? You want to say it pretty well?
Who is for and who is against?
Who is for and against?
Exactly.
Emma, did you want to do the honors for this one?
Okay, sure. So until now, it was usually the judges who get to choose who's for and against, but I'm excited that I get to do it this time. So let's go. I'm gonna say Chair Bartek is gonna go pro, and 2.5 teams are gonna go against. I'll repeat that. Chair Bartek will go pro, 2.5 teams against.
That would mean we should develop artificial intelligence for our side.
Yes,
Correct.
that would mean you should develop artificial intelligence, while 2.5 teams will say that you shouldn't develop artificial intelligence.
And I wrote these in on the bottom. So the questions in the chat and your side is in the chat. All right, if there are no questions, we're going to start our timer. So at 3:31, everybody should be back here, ready to go.
Okay, so while the teams are getting prepared, we're just going to be giving you a heads up on what's been happening until now. So today's event started at 8 o'clock, and teams have been competing in various activities until then. The first competition we had was collaborative writing. Now you might be wondering, what the heck is collaborative writing? Well, it really is, we give them a bunch of topics, they take on these topics, and they write essays on these topics. The best part about Scholars Cup, or the IAS Scholars Cup, is that there is no word limit. So really, you can just have fun with what you want to write and what you want to express. So Javan's going to give us a brief about which teams were a part of this activity.
So I think the best of the team Luxy is the best team.
So there were 6 teams, and we're just going to give you a brief on who's been in these teams and who are their leaders. So Team Legacy had Josh from 6th grade, Prince from 6th grade, Vishal also from 6th grade. They are our youngest team, and we congratulate you guys for joining us. The 4 Musketeers had 4 members. Bianca is the team leader, who is from grade 7, Maya from grade 7 as well, Julia from grade 7, and Ruth from grade 7.
So next team is Terry Fitchell, which from the 7th grade.
We have Pavan Shankar Pokala as the team leader, Pola as a team member, also from grade 7, Anya also from grade 7.
Yes. Also, we have team Cupcakes.
Aditi, who is the leader, and she's from grade 8. Inya from grade 8 as well. Camilla from grade 8 as well. And Ishema from grade 8 as well.
Yes. So finally, we have our final debate 2 teams, which is 2.5 teams, which from the 9th grade. We have
Sardar Atayev. You've already met these teammates, but I'm just going to tell to those who haven't seen that part of this show. So Sardar Atayev from grade 9, Chadwick from grade 9, Robert from grade 6, and Zofia from grade 8.
So the final team is called Share Bartek.
Yeah, that one's a mouthful. I'm just going to keep saying it till the end of this event. But the team leader of this team is Natasha from grade 10, who's joined by Tihon from grade 10, Melis from grade 10, and Marta also from grade 10. So these are our teams. And honestly, if you guys are out there in the comments, comment down below which team name you think is the most creative. Because I, for one, say all these team names have great names, and I was pretty thrilled when I got to know these names. Okay, so after the collaborative writing, we gave our team members a pretty difficult task. It was called the Scholars Challenge. Now, while you might think that the Scholars Cup is just about academic challenges, there are also some non-academic ones, and this is one of them. The Scholar Challenge, teams got to choose one member who was kept aside, and the rest of the team were given a certain craft. In this case, they were given the task to make a paper toilet roll alpaca. Since our Scholars Cup loved alpacas, what else would we turn a toilet paper roll into? And that's why we turned it into a toilet paper alpaca. So each team member now had to explain it to their main player on how to make this alpaca. And the results we got were outstanding. Surprisingly, all teams understood what they were supposed to do, even though they never saw their final product. And we really loved that fact. So I'm just going to give you a brief explanation of what they made. So Cherbatek Cherbatek apparently in English means toothless, as in the character from How to Train Your Dragon. And so they turned their alpaca into Cherbatapaka. Exactly, that is a mouthful. If you can say it, I have to like congratulate you because I can never say it. 2.5 teens made a pretty cool alpaca.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really cute. It was a baby alpaca. It was having a hard time standing up, but they made it. We have Team Cupcakes who made their alpaca and called it Sprinkles, which went well with cupcakes, if you get me. We have the Four Musketeers who made their alpaca called Lemon.
Yeah.
Credits to them because that's the only alpaca that could stand today. Team Legacy had a pretty interesting alpaca. Their alpaca had a lot of cotton, like a lot, and it was pretty fluffy and cute.
Yes.
Finally, we have our last team, the Terrific Trio, who made their alpaca, and it was pretty interesting because they wrapped it on with yarn,
Yes.
which other teams didn't do, and this was a cool look. So that brought us to the end of the Scholars Challenge. And then we moved on to the team debates. The team debates, unfortunately, we cannot announce the winners or the lollipops. Now, we use the word lollipop because we do not like to use the word losers.
Yes.
So we're going to be using lollipops. So the lollipops and the winners, we cannot announce right now. But all you need to know right now is that we've got 2 teams and they'll be debating each other. And at the end of this team, you will know who won and who lollipopped.
Yeah, I'm so excited for it.
Yeah, and we'll be there throughout the entire debate, commentating on some of the most interesting arguments we heard through the process.
Yes.
So our team should be wrapping up on their 15 minutes research. We'll let you know when they're done. Okay, guys, I hope I am not disturbing you, but you should be wrapping up on those 15 minutes. Just thought I'd let you know. Okay, another important fact that I should mention is that other debates are happening at the same time. So those debates also have a chance of winning first place and second place. So what you see in this finale might not always be the winners, but they have the highest chance of doing so. Okay.
So until 3:31. Are we shortening that?
So at the moment, we're just waiting for our teams to wrap up on their research. Now, what I mean by research is that teammates will have the chance to interact with their other team members through a different, separate, private video chat, which they will be doing right now. And they can use internet, books, literally any source they want to use, but only for those 15 minutes, because later they will not have that opportunity.
Kind of waiting for it.
Okay. So we're going to take a second to maybe look at how the other debate rooms are doing.
Yes.
So I'm going to be switching on to the other debates right now.
And less humans, there will be like no more people
Okay, so I see that debate is already happening.
more, which will make the
So in this room, we're joined together by Team Terrific Trio, which is Pavan, Pola, Anya, and Team The Four Musketeers, which is Bianca, Maya, Julia, and Ruth.
If AI do what, so going back into that people might become homeless, I think that AI would usually do more things that are too hard for us or things that are, I guess, hard to mess up. And in these kind of works, with AI could do work that is like pretty boring or pretty simple, like maybe even being a cashier. There will be more and interesting job opportunities for everybody else. Since
Okay, so that was a little brief of what
Another group working. So we now focus on our final debate part.
So we're gonna take you there.
Just wait 1 minute. So now we move to room 1, which is the final debate.
Okay, so we are back. Okay, so I think that this room is still not done with their research. I mean, they do have to research. So let's go back and check out another room, maybe. So I'm just going to be taking you to our breakout room 2, where we're joined by another 2 teams. Okay, so we should be here. So this is breakout room 2, where we have 2 teams going head on head. Those 2 teams are Team Cupcakes, where we have Aditi, who's the team leader, Inya, Camilla, and Ishema, who are debating against
with the team Legacy, which is Joshua,
Prince, and Vishal. And the judge for this team, for this breakout room, is Mr. Bradley.
And
So
get their way in making
is Ishema.
person in a dangerous situation, as you don't know if their car would get hacked and they will be in an accident because the car was being driven by someone who wants them to be in the accident.
May I reply to that, please? Okay. So
Okay, so we have this new and I think really great. Now we will get final things. There are 2 minutes because we deserve it and there will be research. Until then, let us know what you think about this content. So this year, we have to mention is we got a robot. This year, this is and and the main idea for this one is because we have a tool that is summer on the inside because we want our participants to have fun, feel summer from the insides of their house by joining this program. And tomorrow also the program will be continuing. We have two very fun
Yes.
events for tomorrow, which is the Scholars Ball and the Scholars
Show.
That's right. So the Scholars Show is also a non-academic event, which is one of my favorite
Yes.
rounds because it's a talent show where participants get to show their talents and untalents. That's the best part because they can show what they're best at and what they're just starting to learn.
So now we can back to the we are final debate part.
Let's go, let's go, let's go. Okay, so I am just gonna take you guys there in
Yes.
about a minute. Okay, so we are here.
I'll put it up pretty quickly. I don't want to distract you. Once you have 5 or 10 seconds left, I'll just start counting down on my fingers. Once you hit 2 minutes, I can't, the judge, I can't evaluate or consider any of your points after 2 minutes. If you're done quicker than 2 minutes, if you're done after a minute and a half or whatever, another team can just jump right in. But as soon as the other team jumps right in, I'm going to start your new maximum of 2-minute timer. So you don't need to wait for me to give you unnecessarily you don't need to wait a while before you start, but you do need to make sure that the other team is finished before you go. Do you have any questions about any of that?
Okay, so Mr. Ruby here has just given us a brief intro to the rules. That is, each participant can get only 2 minutes to tell their full argument and their point of view of this topic. So just to remind you, the topic is whether or not we should develop artificial intelligence and why. Okay, so Mr. Ruby has continued to give us some insight on the preparation and the process, and he is also going ahead and answering a few of the participants' questions. So we're going to give a second for him to finish right now.
Where are we? They're saying yes, that artificial intelligence should be developed. The younger team, 3.5 teens, is saying no. So we're going to start with the younger team. We're going to start with 3.5 teens. I'm going to start the timer once you start speaking. So go when you're ready.
Okay, so 3.5 teens are going to go ahead. They are against.
We think that the artificial intelligence should not be developed because of the following reasons. So the first one is the implementation cost. When combining all the costs for installation, maintenance, and repair, artificial intelligence is an expensive proposition. It'll be uh, difficult for enterprises and industries that do not have the means and resources to integrate artificial intelligence into their processes. The second argument is that artificial intelligence might cause addiction because with the increasing dependence of people on machines and technologies, a time comes when people find it difficult to work without the help of machine or technology. As a result, people's um, mental and cognitive abilities will decrease over time. And my last point is the job elimination. It is possible that artificial intelligence will take away many jobs because machines can work 24/7, and therefore industries will more likely prefer to invest into cars rather than people. As we move towards an automated world where almost all tasks will be performed by machines, there's the possibility of a large scale unemployment. An example of this would be in nowadays would be the concept of unmanned, so-called unmanned vehicle work, unmanned vehicles, which might cause millions of drivers to be left without a work in the future. That's all from me.
Okay. 10th grade, Sherbatek.
Okay, so maybe we would like to start with maybe what artificial intelligence actually is. So artificial intelligence is a computer system that is able to perform a task that normally would require a human being to perform it. And as you know, our thesis statement is that we should develop those kind of systems. And some of the arguments supporting the statement that we would further develop um, are, among others, the fact that it gives us ability for exploration, as well as on an individual level contributes to much more efficient time management, as well as on a larger scale, pushes the global development forward. And an example of such factor pushing the world forward is the development of medicine, something very important for us as a society. Nowadays, artificial intelligence allows the creation of computer-based solutions that support and improve our doctors' performances. And now, thank you, Sorter, for all your points, and I will allow the next speaker to voice their side.
Okay, so thank you so much, Natasha, for your points. I think they were very relevant. However, there's an important point about artificial intelligence in general, which people tend to forget, that with humans can be easily replaced and or improved. For example, if a person per se is not doing very well in their job, they are not efficiently working, they can be fired and then replaced by another person to fill in their position. With a robot, it is a lot more complicated. If a robot, for example, gets broken, or even worse, they stop working as efficiently as they should, it is very difficult to replace a robot, as not only fixing the damage.
So Zofia is speaking right now.
If
the
situation
claim, and she is having such a strong point which you guys should listen to. Natasha and Starter also made detailed claims that were very strong. I have no idea how the other team's gonna counter that.
More just in general, it takes a lot more physical as well as just more expensive improvement is required for fixing the mistakes which the artificial intelligence may have made. So thank you. That was from my point.
Okay, my name is Tihon, and I'm going to continue this debate. First of all, I would like to thank you for bringing up all those points. I respect your opinion. However, our team thinks a little bit different, and I would like to talk a little bit about standing question why artificial intelligence and machines can do more and better than humans. First of all, they are not alive, what makes them not have emotions. Artificial intelligence is multifunctional, what in turn makes it more efficient and productive. Also, it doesn't require any sleep and doesn't waste any time. Thereby, AE has less limits than humans do. Therefore, factors mentioned above make machines a very good way of solving global issues and generally helping humanity and people in solving all problems.
Tenth grade still has 50 seconds left if they want.
It is pretty much it, so thank you.
Okay, moving on.
You're going to need people to make these robots that hold the AI, and these robots, or machines, they take up a lot of resources, and I see it as mostly metal. And if these robots or machines will go in high demand, it's going to lead to mass mining, and a lot of the land is going to be lost just to get all these ores for the metal. And then the energy it runs on, it's probably going to be not more than 50% renewable energy. And if a lot of these machines are out there, it's going to need a lot of energy. So it's going to lead to more things requiring energy, and we're already using a lot of it, especially non-renewable. It's going to be bad for the climate and the environment overall.
You also still have a minute left if you would like it. Okay, let's move on. 10th grade.
Okay, so I want to thank you guys for your opinions. I respect them. And particularly, I want to answer for some of the Sardar's statements. So you said that cost of artificial intelligence are high. Although I want to emphasize that nowadays, for example, Siri or Alexa is really common and it's not that expensive. It's really common for people to have it. Also, you said that people can easily get addicted to artificial intelligence, but as humans, we can get addicted easily almost to anything because of hormone B dopamine. And so saying that getting addicted to artificial intelligence is bad is the saying that like it's not really a strong point. Okay, so why also we should develop IA is that, for example, medicine. So we can like new machines with nanobrain surgeries that would be too hard and too risky for a normal human being to conduct. Also, they allow us to develop and develop more vaccines and cures for disease, as also to diagnose sickness faster by scanning human body. What is also important, IA can reduce number of deaths in people. For example, by sending people to space, we can risk their life, but by sending robots with IA, we can be more sure that they won't die, or they will provide us more information than human could. Okay, thank you.
Okay, I've been asked by the narrators to pause here for a second.
Okay, so that was about halftime, I think, of our debate. And if you're not as thrilled as me, then believe it or not, but you're going to get more thrilled when you see the other half of this debate. So you've been seeing the strong claims our students have been making. I mean, it kind of blew our minds here,
Yeah.
but I'm pretty interested in the way they think different from each other and belong to the same team. So many views on the same topic. Let's go back and see what they're up to. Okay, so okay, so our team will rewind back to their where
Okay.
they stopped.
We're back on. I don't
Go.
know what the pause was, but we're done with the pause. Okay, so we still have, we had about a minute pause. We have enough time for for each team to make one final point. So each team has 2 more minutes to basically wrap up their arguments and finish off the other team. I believe the youngsters should go first. It's their turn, plus they started this debate, and we will finish with the 10th graders. Okay, so young ones, go for it. That'd be 3.5 teams, by the way.
Okay, so one last point before we finish this complete conversation, and thank you for everyone for their points and opinions. So one last point is that machines, I think Serdar mentioned that earlier, they do not have emotions, meaning that when working in a space in which it is necessary to contact fully and have this sort of whole group of opinions, having emotions is incredibly necessary, and having a kind of a voice and a mind which can speak for itself is incredibly crucial, especially when working in like a team of people. Therefore, meaning that a robot can obviously not necessarily replace that, as they do not have emotions, they do not have a mind which can think of its own. They were programmed to do certain things which they were meant to do. And as well as they do not have this out of box thinking, meaning that they do not have this acknowledgement of imagination and creativity, which is important in teamwork and groups, especially in important business jobs. Meaning, so in jobs related to business or economy, it is important to have this out of box thinking, and robots are not capable of doing that. So it's very difficult for them to replace something of the sort. Thank you. That was from my side.
Okay, thank you.
Well,
final.
It's my turn to speak. Well, I respect all of your opinions and see where you stand. Although, of course, I have to disagree on a lot of things that you said. Right now, you recently mentioned the fact that emotions is something that people have and robots don't, and we cannot replace teams of people. And that is exactly the point that we kind of missed, is that robots are not supposed to replace the people's emotion works. They're supposed to replace the works that people are put in danger, people are put in health risks, such as people who carry high weights. They're in a risk of getting scoliosis. People that have highly emotional jobs can get psychology treatment, which is not needed for a robot. Pediatrician is not needed for a person, so less jobs needed to pay for. It's cheaper. Also, Chadwick said that resources will be expensive. Well, right now we're trying to recycle, reduce, and reuse. So that will be perfect for our robots, since we can use the aluminium from cans that we use, which is recycled a lot now. We can use a lot of resources and solar power for robots that especially work outside, and we can implement this into the urban lifestyle, I guess. Well, also you said that humans are easily replaced. Yes, I agree, but we're kind of trying to replace jobs that are needing human strength and work that can be done by a robot much easier and more efficiently, because they can work 24/7 with no pain, no emotions. So it is easy, and it also requires 1 to 2 people to maintain, whereas to maintain 100 people for a production chain is much harder. And of course, jobs also, when you said jobs are eliminated, I would like to neglect that, because I think jobs are actually created because people then, if they're moved from farms, they cannot work at farms, so they move to cities in order to get better jobs at factories or maybe even tertiary or quaternary source sectors, which can improve the global economics. And well, that's my point, generally speaking. So thank you for the debate.
Okay, so thank you guys all for your well-considered thoughts and answers. I've been told that I should tell you who won this debate, and after I say that, then we move back to the main lobby, and our hosts will tally up all the points and then like give the announcement of who won the overall debate, including like all 3 rounds.
Yeah.
So this is really close. I think it was really close, similar to your first debate when you guys went against each other. It was also within 1 point. I won't go through the individual categories, but the overall score, if you'll give me a second, double check the numbers. The overall score is Sherbatic with a 43, and 3.5 teams with a 42. So really close, but also both these numbers keep you both competitive in the overall point total standings. So well done, and I will see you in the main lobby. Thank you guys.
Oh my god. Like, I did not totally expect that Serbatek would win, and nor did, I mean, to be honest with you, I didn't expect anyone to win. The teams are so good and they are so well put on together, and they have such great team effort. So congratulations, Serbatek. You won this round, but stay tuned to see who win the entire debate round. Okay, so we're going to take you back to the main lobby right now, where you will be met with a few of our other contestants. Okay, so I am going to take you to the main lobby. Okay, so we are here in the main lobby.
Well,
hello everyone, you guys are now live. So I would like to request you to, if you have anything interesting to say about the Scholars Cup or the entire event as it is now, please do so. The stage is all yours. And meanwhile, we're going to be counting up the points.
The best part of the debate happened after the debate. So that's, I just found it funny. Too bad it wasn't recorded. But
I have the first one.
it was really
are
funny.
you able to share, or are you just going to leave it?
No, I don't think it's worth, well, it sure is worth sharing, but not, certainly not live.
So thank you for bringing it up. There's something that the debate was so great, but it was what happened after the debate that was really the best part, and I can't share it because it's inappropriate.
I mean, you can always text me after it, and I can tell you if you're so interested.
So for mine, I thought one thing that I was impressed with on the last debate, on the round 3, was just that there was a variety of points that were made, which is really important when you're dealing with AI, because AI it affects a large, it can affect just about the entire world economy and the entire way that humans live. And so there's so many different directions that you can go into with this question. And I thought that our debaters did a good job of discussing a few of those directions. jobs and what happens to jobs if machines are going to replace them, that's a really big deal. It's a very real concern about AI. But you always have to balance, okay, like, are we just afraid the jobs are going to be disappeared and not replaced? Or how do we balance that with the potential benefits that AI could bring? So it's just a really interesting question. How did the rest of the participants feel about it? Did you feel like this was a question you were ready to answer? Was the research difficult? What did you think?
When I got the same topic, with my research, I kind of did answer the question by saying that. So what did I say again? Wait, okay. So I said that employee won't be a thing and money won't be a thing. So if money won't be a thing, employee won't be a thing because AI would take care of everything. And it was shown there was high probabilities that if AI would go high, then for sure this is going to happen. There are high probabilities of this. So that's why I just stated in my argument.
I feel like I was prepared for the debate and the argument because we actually did have at the beginning of our year, in the first semester we had this as a assignment for English. So I felt like the knowledge I gained from those lessons helped me in the debate.
That's great.
Yeah, it was quite interesting for me to judge this one because I am kind of passionate about the topic itself of AI and how it is developed. So it was nice to hear what other people think about it. Also, out of interest, Team Four Musketeers, because you were against, right? Are you actually against it, or did you just bring those arguments because you were supposed to?
Because we were supposed to, and that was what I did.
Yeah.
Just as I thought. Still, good job.
Yeah, that actually brings up an interesting question of how many of you actually think that AI that we should develop AI completely, compared to how many think that we should be worried about it. Did we maybe do like the little reaction buttons? If you think that we should develop AI completely.
Okay, so so we got the results, and we are super excited to tell you what the results are. But we'd also like to join in our teammates so that they know. But at the moment, they're going to do a little tally of whether or not they really supported their topic or not. So let's give a second. Mr. Ruby has come up with this idea.
That's interesting. So are the rest of you have a
So
are you guys ready?
Yes, we are, Mr. Okay, so I hope everyone is hearing me right now because we will be announcing the winner. That's right, and I'm joined by my special guest, Mr. Pwapwa, that's right, his name is Mr. Pwapwa. Okay, and he is joining us today so that he can know who won along with us. We are super excited to tell out the results. So with no further ado, here it is. So in third place, we've got Team Cupcakes.
Congratulations.
Team Cupcakes, you guys rock. Can we have a loud whoop whoop from Team Cupcakes? So Team Cupcakes is made up of Aditi, who's the leader, Inya, Camila, Ishema. Congratulations, guys. Moving on, let's go on to second place.
So we got 3.5 teams.
3.5 teams!
Congratulations.
Congratulations, you guys. You did it.
So we have
So our teammates from 3.5 teams was Sardar Atayev, who is their leader, joined by Chadwick Ferrales, Robert, and Zofia. Great job, you guys. Let's hear a whoop whoop. Okay, I hope you guys heard that, but Zofia at the moment is choking on her water, so let's leave that. But moving on, are you ready? For the first place, we've got Shed Batek! That's right! Great job. I might be having like a double victory right now because they won the finale and they won the entire debate. So we are so happy for you guys. And their team consists of Natasha, Tihon, Melis, and Marta. Congratulations, you guys.
So if we can add the final points for our top 2 team getters, I thought that was interesting. So out of 150 total points, the second place team, 3.5 teams, got 129 out of the 150 points. So that was very good. The Sherbatek got 133. So the top 2 teams were only separated by 4 points, which is really close.
Right?
150
Such
points.
a tough competition.
Yeah, it was really tight, and obviously it was pretty clear that both of those teams deserve to be in the finals. So congratulations to both of you for doing so well.
Thank you, Mr. Ruby. That was a great note. If Mr. Bradley or Bartek, who were also judging these debates, could add on something, that would be great.
Bradley, since you're older than me,
allowing your elders to go first. How polite. Now, I mean, especially in that first round when I had these top 2 teams going up against each other, that was a tough one. It was really tough to call. So I imagine in the final it was probably pretty similar. There's like almost nothing to separate them, and again that's reflected in the total scores at the end. And yeah, it was amazing quality. I mean, throughout the debates, not just in that first team that I saw, the first 2 teams that I saw, who ended up going on to win it, but also in the subsequent 2 debates. Really impressive, really high quality, really well thought out arguments, and also one nice thing to see, continuous high levels of respect for one another as well. I think pretty much every team scored in the 5s or at least the 4s for respect to the other team, which is really good to see.
Yeah, me and Darwin also were there for most of the debates, and we observed a similar pattern. Each team was so good, and I bet it was a really tough job for you guys as the judges to tell who's better. But I'm glad you guys did, and that's how we had the winner. Yeah, Bartek, sorry for interrupting you. Continue.
Yeah, no worries. When I was approaching this debate, I was actually expecting way more, interruption, people arguing, this kind of stuff. But I was really surprised that this was not the case, which might have something to do with the fact that it's taking place online. But then there were also some really funny situations, especially with Sherbatek team, when they would start every argument by saying, yes, I respect what you just said, I value your input, whatever, which just sounded really like sarcasm, but I couldn't really do anything about it. Just, so something that I thought was quite funny. And in the end, they scored 5 for respect, so good for them.
I thought that was really interesting because when they did it, but it would always take them like 15 or 20 of their seconds of their 2 minutes to say that like kind introduction, when you could say the same thing. Like the point of saying that whole thing is like, I hear you and I respect you. But you can say the same thing while also mounting your counter argument to say, listen, when you said this, I thought that was a good point, but I just want to add on these things of why I think that my point is better. And so I thought that could be a good tool for the future.
That is true. That is a great tool to use, and think of how your thought process is going to oppose the opponent's claims. So thank you, Mr. Ruby, for pointing that out.
Okay, so
this brings us to the end of today's Scholars Cup event. We will be continuing the event tomorrow, but let's have a round of claps for the end of our debate and the end of today's event. So, guys, everyone, you know how we do this. I'm gonna say, "Are you ready?" And you know what you're supposed to do, right?
Wait, no, I'm not. I don't know. What am I supposed to do?
Okay, so Bartek wasn't here from the beginning as teacher. But when I say, "Are you ready?" you have your plates out and we're gonna bang it real loud. You guys got that?
Yeah.
Oh, Bartek is ready. Let's go. Are you ready? Thank you, guys. Thank you for joining us today. I'm so happy to host this show.